Saeed cautiously entered the abandoned laboratory. The air was thick with dust, and every step he took echoed through the empty cavernous space. He had been searching for this place for years, following cryptic clues and whispered rumors. Dust covered the archaic machines, relics of a bygone era. Each piece of equipment seemed to tell a story of forgotten experiments and lost knowledge. Papers littered the floor, their once bright colors faded with time. They were scattered haphazardly as if abandoned in a hurry. Saeed picked one up, trying to decipher the faded ink and cryptic diagrams. A musty smell hung in the air, a testament to years of neglect. The walls were lined with shelves, now empty and covered in cobwebs. It was clear that no one had set foot in this place for decades. He had heard whispers of this place, a secret facility swallowed by the earth. It was said to be a hub of groundbreaking research hidden away from prying eyes. Legends spoke of strange experiments and impossible technologies. Saeed had always been fascinated by these stories, but he never imagined he would find himself standing in the very place where they originated. In the center of the room, gleaming under a single flickering light, stood a massive metallic gateway. It was an imposing structure, both beautiful and terrifying in its design. It was unlike anything Saeed had ever seen. The gateway seemed to pulse with a life of its own, as if it were waiting for something or someone. The gateway was a perfect circle framed by thick metal beams. It looked both ancient and futuristic, a paradox of design that defied explanation. Strange symbols, etched into the metal, hummed with an unknown energy. They glowed faintly, casting eerie shadows on the walls. Saeed ran his hand along the smooth, cold surface. The metal was cool to the touch, sending a chill through his body. A shiver ran down his spine. He could feel the weight of history pressing down on him, the culmination of countless hours of research and exploration. He could feel a power emanating from it, a dormant force waiting to be unleashed. It was as if the gateway held the secrets of the universe, just waiting to be discovered. The air around the gateway crackled with static. It was a tangible energy, making the hairs on the back of his neck stand on end. It felt like the air before a thunderstorm, thick with anticipation and a strange, unnerving energy. The atmosphere was charged, as if something monumental was about to happen. Saeed took a deep breath, his heart pounding in his chest. What was this place? What secrets did it hold? He felt a mix of fear and excitement, knowing that he was on the brink of a monumental discovery. Who built this incredible machine? What purpose did it serve? The questions swirled in his mind, each one more tantalizing than the last. His mind raced with questions, but one thought echoed louder than the rest. What did this gateway connect to? The possibilities were endless, and the answers lay just beyond the threshold. He had stumbled upon something extraordinary, a secret hidden from the world. It was a discovery that could change everything, a revelation that could rewrite history. A knot of dread tightened in his stomach, but it was quickly overtaken by an overwhelming sense of curiosity. He had to know. He had to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. With a determined look in his eyes, Saeed stepped closer to the gateway, ready to face whatever lay beyond. As Saeed stepped closer, the gateway flickered to life, casting an eerie blue glow that seemed to pulse with a life of its own. A soft blue glow emanated from the symbols etched into its surface, each one glowing brighter as if responding to his presence. The humming intensified, vibrating through the air and into his bones, creating a sensation that was both unsettling and exhilarating. He felt a strange pull towards the gateway, a magnetic force drawing him closer, almost as if the portal itself was alive and beckoning him. The air shimmered and crackled with energy, tiny sparks dancing around him, making the hairs on his arms stand on end. Saeed watched in awe as the blue glow intensified, bathing the room in an otherworldly light that seemed to erase the boundaries of reality. A low hum resonated from the gateway, growing louder with each passing second, filling the room with a sound that was both ominous and inviting. A screen flickered to life on the control panel next to the gateway, its sudden illumination drawing Saeed's attention. It displayed a simple message in faded green letters. 10-second window. The words seemed to pulse with urgency. 10 seconds. That was all the time he would have. 10 seconds to make a decision that could change everything. 10 seconds to see what lay beyond this portal, to glimpse a world that was both familiar and alien. 10 seconds to glimpse another world, another time, a reality that existed parallel to his own. Fear warred with curiosity within Saeed. The unknown beckoned, but the risks were immense. Was this some kind of trap? The thought gnawed at him, making him question every instinct. What dangers lay hidden on the other side? The portal's glow seemed to promise wonders, but also whispered of perils. He hesitated, his hand hovering over the activation lever. The weight of his decision pressed down on him. The blue glow pulsed, beckoning him forward, its rhythm matching the beating of his heart. The portal seemed to call his name, inviting him to step into the unknown. Saeed's finger trembled above the activation lever. His heart pounded a frantic rhythm against his ribs. The weight of his decision pressed down on him. What if he didn't like what he saw? What if there was no coming back? But the allure of the unknown was too strong to resist. He had come too far to turn back now. He took a deep breath and pushed the lever down. The gateway roared to life. The blue glow became blinding, filling the room with its ethereal light. A wave of energy knocked Saeed off his feet, throwing him back against the cold, concrete floor. He scrambled back, shielding his eyes from the intense light. As quickly as it had flared, the light subsided, leaving behind an eerie silence that seemed to stretch on forever. Saeed slowly lowered his arm, blinking away the after-images that danced in his vision, trying to make sense of what he was seeing. He gasped, his breath catching in his throat as the reality of the scene before him began to sink in. The gateway no longer held a blue glow but revealed a scene of utter desolation, a world that seemed to have been abandoned by life itself. He was staring into another world, a world vastly different from his own, a world that had once thrived but now lay in ruins. The sky was a sickly shade of crimson, the air thick with smoke and ash, making it hard to breathe even from this distance. Twisted metal skeletons of buildings reached for the sky, monuments to a forgotten civilization that had once touched the heavens. The streets below were deserted, choked with rubble and debris, the remnants of a world that had seen better days. But it was the creatures that sent shivers down Saeed's spine, the eerie inhabitants of this forsaken place. They were tall and gaunt, their forms shrouded in shadows, moving with an unsettling grace that defied logic. They moved with an unsettling grace, their eyes glowing with an eerie, internal light that seemed to pierce through the darkness. This wasn't just a different world, it was a glimpse into a terrifying future, a future that seemed all too possible, a future where humanity was gone, replaced by these things, these eerie new inhabitants that roamed the ruins. The air crackled with a strange energy, and the only sound was the mournful moan of the wind whistling through the ruins, a haunting melody that spoke of loss and despair. Saeed's eyes were wide with fear, his hands trembling as he took in the full scope of the devastation. He remembered the vibrant city that once stood here, the bustling streets filled with life and laughter, now replaced by silence and shadows. He stepped back from the portal, shaking his head in disbelief, unable to comprehend how such a transformation could have occurred. The edges of the portal shimmered, a faint blue glow returning as if to remind him of the world he had come from, a world that still held hope. Saeed clenched his fists, a newfound resolve in his eyes. He knew he had to find a way to prevent this future, to save his world from the same fate. As the portal began to close, the light fading once more, Saeed turned away, his mind racing with thoughts of what he had seen and what he needed to do. He walked away from the portal with a determined stride, the setting sun casting long shadows behind him, a silent promise that he would not let this vision become reality. In the distance, the portal shimmered one last time before fading into nothingness, leaving Saeed alone with his thoughts and the weight of the future on his shoulders.